Welcome to ESPN College Football, presented by Sling TV. A Cincinnati skydive on a picturesque fall Saturday from Nippert Stadium, where the red-hot Bearcats, ranked 21st in the nation, host the Golden Hurricane of Tulsa. Kevin Brown, Heisman Trophy winner Andre Ware, and Taylor Davis down on the sideline. So thrilled to be with you, where we're seeing one of the nation's best group of 5 programs in Cincinnati continue to build on the success of a terrific 2018.
Yeah, it's a team that has gone 16-3 since 2018, one of the better records in the country. This team is led by an electric running back in Michael Warren, who we just cannot wait to see. Emotional leader of their offense, a guy that provides the big spark. He's the engine that makes Cincinnati go, and Kevin, he just seems to get better as the game progresses. A guy that started the season hot and has remained that way. About 463 yards and 4 touchdowns. The more he gets it, the later in the game it gets, he can put the Cincinnati offense on his back.
Probably the offensive highlight of the season 2 weeks ago, a back-breaking 60-yard run to end the third quarter in a Friday night win over UCF. His numbers are eerily similar to the other number 3 in this game, Tulsa's Shamari Brooks.
Yeah, one guy is Michael Warren's at 463. Shamari Brooks is at 464 and 4 touchdowns in his own right. He is kind of their spark today offensively, or will be offensively, because both teams want to find some balance. We'll see these two and compare them all game long.
Tulsa coached by Philip Montgomery in his 5th year. 2 bowls in his first 2 seasons with the Golden Hurricane. Just 3 and 2 wins the last 2 seasons, respectively. They need a victory badly to start a very difficult second half of the year. And Luke Fickell, the reigning coach of the year in the conference, with a program-defining victory 2 weeks ago over UCF in this building, snapping the night's 19-game American win streak. Cincinnati won the toss, chose to defer. Ryan Jones in the black uniforms will kick it away, and a returnable ball for Keelan Stokes from inside the 5. Stokes will take it across the 20-yard line, shy of the 25. So Tulsa will be led by the Baylor Bears transfer, Zach Smith, onto the field. The first-year starter after transferring from Baylor, where he started 10 games over 2 seasons. This is not a big running team, despite the skills of Brooks. Outside of him, they are mostly a team through the air, and they like Zach Smith a lot.
They like to throw it a lot, and 128 attempts without an interception. He had it snapped 2 weeks ago against SMU. He takes care of the football. When you look at him statistically, 10 touchdowns to just 4 interceptions.
And a quick hitter here to Keelan Stokes, who had the kick return. He is the leading receiver for Tulsa at a short gain on first down.
Yeah, he's the team's best receiver, in my opinion. They'd like to get him the ball more, and Tulsa talked about tempo. We may see a lot of that today.
On the ground with Brooks, and Shamari Brooks' first touch is good for 8 and a first down before Brian Wright's tackle.
Yeah, this is an offense that's going to spread you horizontally as well as vertically. They will take shots, but they will widen you out and get you in space, so to speak.
3 plays in a heartbeat, and the shot over the middle is reeled in by Josh Johnson, the Iowa State transfer. 11 yards and another first down, and look at Tulsa go.
And Zach Smith, when he gets hot, he's got a big, accurate arm. He can make all the throws.
This is an offense in the roots of the Art Briles Baylor offense, as that's who Philip Montgomery coached under. They go fast, and this pass is missed for Josh Johnson. So all of a sudden, 2 first downs, you're rolling along. 2 penalties and incompletion later. It's 2nd and a mile.
And that's why I think the record is as such at 2 and 4, because they can score. They have 4 receivers with 20 or more catches that they like to spread the ball around. They can keep you off balance defensively. But one thing about it is you have to be disciplined in a tempo style of offense, and Tulsa just hasn't been that in terms of consistency all year.
Cincinnati delayed rush of 6, and Smith is crunched, and down he goes as the ball pops free. Marcus Brown got the sack, and we're waiting for a signal on who has the ball. It is Cincinnati's.
Oh, what a time to get.
Rolling on the field is a fumble recovered by the defense. First down.
What a time to come up with your first sack of the season. Marcus Brown just kept pushing the offensive lineman to the quarterback and is able to shake himself free. And I thought Zach Smith just held the ball way too long. Right in the middle of the screen is where Marcus Brown comes from. Almost 302 pounds of him at nose tackle, and he's able to get home. Now this is where, if you're Coach Denbrock, Mike Denbrock, the offensive coordinator, plus yardage territory, and maybe take a shot here.
So Brown punches out the fumble, gets it back. His first career sack after a couple of big-time plays last game. And Michael Warren here is blown up by Cooper Edmiston for nothing.
And I say that because, you know, on first down, Tulsa's waiting on Michael Warren.
Right.
And you got a turnover. You got some momentum. The offense is hyped. You got it at their 35-yard line. Let's go up top.
Desmond Ridder is the man who would be going up top, second-year starter for Cincinnati, who's been in a real groove the last 3 games. He does hand it off again, and Warren run down by Edmiston one more time. Desmond Ridder used the bye week well. He's our man who's slinging it. Brought to you today by Sling TV. We were here against Miami. It was a slow start for Cincinnati. Ridder didn't play well. They said they were in a rut. Look at what he's done since then.
Yeah, 64 completion percentage in his last 3 games, 9 touchdowns to just 2 interceptions. He has got a firm grasp on this offense, and it's starting to show.
2 road wins at Marshall and Houston, and then a home win over UCF on a Friday 2 weeks ago to put UCF in the American driver's seat. Third down, Cincinnati hasn't been great this year, and this is a little overshot for Rashad Medeiros. Brandon Johnson, a senior, in coverage for Tulsa.
A little surprised that they didn't call something to get a couple more yards where you're out of field goal range pretty much, and you're going to go for it on 4th down. So something that a little easier throw. And they are actually going to try to attempt about a 50-yard field goal here.
Is this maybe a watch for a fake deal? Because Sam Frost is long as 44.
Absolutely.
It's going to be Cole Smith, actually. He's the longer kicker. He was the kicker last year, struggled and lost the job, and now Luke Fickell wants a timeout. He's got an offensive lineman rumbling in late.
Charge timeout.
This is a whole mess for Cincinnati, which did not have the bodies, and will take the timeout.
I think it started with not being a little more aggressive to start the game. They wanted to show a pass look and go to Michael Warren, but on the other.
Cincinnati still has the field goal unit on for what would be a 51-yard try from the longer kicker, Cole Smith.
And this is a small win for Tulsa to just hold to a field goal attempt here by Cole Smith. Hold up for 3 downs and force this field goal with excellent field position for Cincinnati when they got the turnover to start the drive and basically went nowhere.
You surprised at the sequence of plays we had leading up to this field goal?
Because I know you have a game plan if you're my offensive coordinator Mike Denbrock, but sometimes that's got to change and alter when you get a turnover like that in plus yardage territory.
So here's a career-long try for Smith, first of the year, 5 for 12 last season. Good snap, good hold. Smith's kick has the distance, and it is good.
Well, that'll go a long way for Cole Smith in terms of building his confidence. Just a sophomore. Right, it was a nice snap. The hole was there, and an excellent follow-through by Cole Smith. Oh, it might have been good from 5 to 7 yards. He's set up to do business here again.
Well, Cincinnati's defense continues to hold in the opening drive. Held their opponents to 1 field goal on 7 opening drives this year. Stokes out of his end zone to begin Tulsa's 2nd drive. And he's out of bounds near the 20 as we send it down to Taylor Davis.
Well, guys, when I asked the Cincinnati coaches what concerned them most about facing Tulsa, they all said the same thing. It's the quarterback. As you said, Zach Smith is a Baylor transfer, and even though we saw some struggles in that first drive, head coach Philip Montgomery told me this guy can execute the explosive pass game that we need to find success down the road in this season. He wants to take those deep shots. He's built some great chemistry with his receivers, and those receivers told me he is no longer known around campus as the guy from Baylor. They said he has bought into the culture at Tulsa. He wants to lead this team to success.
Well, you watch him on film, and the ball gets there in a hurry, and it's even more impressive to see it live.
That was Sam Crawford. Good news, he's playing after a concussion last week. Bad news, he committed the penalty as Brooks plunges ahead for 4. Well, to get back to Zach Smith, Taylor was talking about the respect his teammates have developed for him. Zach Smith has taken a lot of hits this year. This offensive line has struggled, and when you watch the tape with Baylor, you talk to folks around them, he takes the hit, he doesn't bark at guys. He gets up, he goes to the next play, and he'll have to do that after a sack last drive.
Part of being a leader, though, is that you have to bark at guys. You know, you get receivers jumping. I might be in the face of one of them. You know, hey, let's go. Snap out of it. And the offensive line as well. Kind of kidded. I was joking with Philip Montgomery about that. That you know, it's okay for a quarterback to get on some of the guys, some of the personnel that's around him from time to time. That's just showing leadership.
Smith will look to the sideline here as Cincinnati exchanges defensively. Arquan Bush into the slot left with a 4-receiver set. Smith pressured again and sacked again on a 3rd down.
And lucky to hold on to that football. Brian Wright was there along with Sanders. The other linebacker, he gets there as well. Excuse me, the defensive end, but they arrive almost at the right time, and Elijah Ponder was the first to kind of disrupt things.
Sanders, Cincinnati's best pass rusher when we talked to their coaches. Only 1 sack on the year, but Marcus Freeman told us he forces quarterbacks into sacks. And he got a good chunk there as Cincinnati nearly blocks the punt from Thomas Bennett. A return for Ryan Montgomery, who made the first defender miss and does well to get the ball to midfield. A return of 11 after a kick of 46. 2 sacks, good field position for Cincinnati. Defense holding up in the early going. Cincinnati looking to go to 3-0 in the American Conference with the ball at midfield after a couple of sacks to end drives, and Desmond Ridder, the redshirt sophomore, takes over for his 2nd drive. What a great conversation we had with Desmond Ridder yesterday at Louisville, Kentucky.
Look at the guy. Walked in and apologized for beating the Cougars last week.
He knew his audience. Ridder has all day to throw, and a wide open receiver. It's Medeiros. Did he hang on in bounds? He did. Little bit of a bobble maybe, but he cleanly hauls it in for 23.
The dropping that one in the bucket for the receiver Rashad Medeiros. I mean, that's a nice corner route and thrown out in front where all he's got to do is reel it in. That's an excellent throw and catch.
Had a great game last week at Houston. 3 catches for 121. And on first down, a handoff Warren, bouncing it back to the right for a gain of 3.
And Warren's been clamoring for more touches. They say the ideal touch count for him is about 20 plus. He would like it to be about 25 or so. And mentioned earlier, he's the offense's emotional leader, provides a spark, and he runs mad, Kevin. Every time he gets the ball, he's just tough to bring down, plays with a chip on his shoulder.
Haven't given him as many touches early this year because of the development of Ridder. Not quite ready for that snap, everyone, as Warren plunges ahead for another 3 yards. 3rd down, so we know about Warren. Who are your other impact players for Cincinnati's offense?
Yeah, getting Chris Ferguson back. He was out for the UCF game, but they got him back. He's the best offensive lineman. Josiah DeGora leads the team in receptions and receiving touchdowns. And on the other side, Travis Gibson, their best pass rusher, along with a tackling machine in Cooper Emerson.
Saw Ferguson firing everyone up pregame, emotional leader out of the Bahamas. And on a 3rd down, it's Warren for 5 and a 1st down.
Edmiston, we're going to talk about him a lot. Edmiston, the linebacker against Warren. He is a guy that mentioned tackling machine, has 16 career 10-plus tackle games, and 3 of those this season. So the guy can play sideline to sideline, and boy, Cincinnati fans don't want to see this.
That's Michael Warren limping off. So Jared Dokes replaces him in the backfield. A lot of players on the line, clearing space for Dokes, who's a hard charger himself. A gain of about 8 yards, but it's hold your breath time, as Warren has tended to on the Cincinnati sideline.
Going back, Dokes is the same kind of runner, runs with power, gets real skinny in the hole, not a big target to hit.
Dokes trying to cut back inside, has the 1st down, sets up 1st and goal from the 4 for the 6-foot, 230-pounder.
Yeah, he had a run last week against Houston that it looked like he was going to get, hit pretty hard. Spins kind of sideways and then got right back up the field, made about 2 or 3 defenders miss him. It was one of the better runs, I thought, in the game. I saw the 3. I could have sworn it was Warren, and then didn't see the 2 that kind of revealed that it was Jared Dokes.
On 1st and goal, Dokes again, and Dokes dives into the end zone. He's got a touchdown. 4-yard plunge for Dokes, his first rushing touchdown of the season, and Cincinnati strikes pay dirt.
Yeah, to my point, it looked as though there was going to be a Tulsa defender there to make the tackle. Dokes just kind of gets skinny in the hole and then lunges for the end zone and is able to get home. But you know what? They don't lose a whole lot when they go from Warren to Dokes, and they're glad to have him back.
His first rushing touchdown since 2017. He was their leading rusher then. Had a hernia issue last year and did not play. What a good feeling that must be for Dokes. Worried about the health of Warren. The good news, though, Dokes provides the oomph for the Cincinnati offense. Line right next to the touchdown scorer, Jared Dokes. First score since 2017.
The first guy to greet him coming off the field is Michael Warren. It's a nice running back room. You have guys that compete for carries, but they're also happy to see the other guy help the team out.
Pretty light on the drum bang there for Dokes. Figured he might hit it with more ferocity. Hasn't found pay dirt since 2017.
That's one of those I'll be right back. I'll hit it hard next time.
I'll get you again, my friend. Fair catch made by Stokes. And Tulsa will start its 3rd drive at the 25. Let's take a look at this side of the ball's impact players.
Yeah, Keelan Stokes, who has already made his presence felt in the return game, along with Sam Crawford offensively. 2 receivers. I really think Zach Smith has got to get the ball to Myjai Sanders, a pass rush specialist. We've called his name already. And the best cover corner who will try to check Stokes and Crawford will be Kobe Bryant on the outside.
Who?
Not that
no,
Kobe
not that
Bryant.
One. That's C-O-B-Y, though he did say his parents
not the Kobe
named
with a
him
K,
because they were fans of Kobe with a K. 42% for the year on 3rd down. Smith with the completion. That's Sam Crawford, who was in the concussion protocol this week, cleared to play late in the week. He has a gain of 11.
A nice job of sitting in the pocket and finding his receiver. Crawford there across the middle. In man coverage, which Cincinnati likes to play a lot of, sometimes you have to wait things out for receivers to come into that second window.
Another 1st down run, and it is Brooks for a gain of 3.
Just keeping this defense honest. We've seen the pass rush in the form of Sanders as well as Ponder, guys up front. Brian Wright. They can get home against the quarterback, and you can run the football and have a little bit of success. You slow that pass rush down.
Marcus Freeman, Cincinnati's defensive coordinator, told us he thought they'd hold up in the run game well. A little more concerned about the pass game. The stop is made here on Keenan Johnson, just shy of a first down. It was Cam Jeffries on what will be the final play of the quarter.
You doubt Zach Smith's arm strength? Just watch that play. Put the reel on or rewind it and watch that last throw.
So 3rd and a yard for Tulsa, which needs to get something going on offense. That'll be when we return. A Jackson player blocked field goal, a hold up after a turnover to hold Cincinnati to a field goal. Those have kept Tulsa in the game despite great field position. Only a 10-0 lead for the hometown Bearcats in Nippert. Two more takeaways for Marcus Freeman's Cincinnati defense in the first quarter. If you throw the Ohio State game out, they're holding offenses to just over 300 yards a game this year. Just 74 for Tulsa in the first quarter. A 3rd and 1 starts the second here. And it's a plunge ahead for T.K. Wilkerson. His first touch is a first down.
Well, they talked about getting him some touches. He's a big, physical runner at 6'2", 228 pounds. And he's just continued to improve his push and push the other two, Brooks and Taylor, for playing time. And really can't keep the kid off the field. Redshirt freshman.
Smith off play action, 4 for 5 in the first quarter, nearly picked here. And that was Keenan Johnson in coverage with Cam Jeffries, the Bowling Green 2-year grad transfer, jumping the route.
We had a chance to visit with Cam Jeffries yesterday. That's had 2 back surgeries, one in March and one in June, and made his way back to the playing field, and that's about as well as you could play it. The corner working on a receiver on a low comeback route across the field.
Played through 2 disc herniations last year. And our own Taylor Davis has more on those. Taylor?
Yeah, guys, you're absolutely right. We were all super impressed by Cam Jeffries after everything he's been through. Like you mentioned, the 2 back surgeries. He said he just tried to get back to playing a week sooner than what the doctors told him and actually ended up hurting it again. But he's back now, really making an impact for this team.
At the end of that tackle, Jeffries there after a first down run for Brooks, a gain of 11.
Amazing how that works, right? You start talking about a young man, he makes a play for you. Good football player.
He said his teammates called him Old Man Cam because he had to wear a back brace around the facility. Top of your screen right now. Smith will go the other way into double coverage. He's nearly picked off again. It was Arquan Bush who might have taken a hit at the end of that play. And I'm not sure if it was friendly fire or not, the collision with Bush and I think Kobe Bryant, the other corner.
Bush has kind of fought some injuries himself. A toe kept him out all spring and fall camps. A very talented player that Marcus Freeman wants to keep on the field.
2nd down and long. Smith still has the ball for Tulsa, trying to make a play on the run, and he overshoots the tight end James Palmer.
He stayed with that play fake a long time, trying to keep the linebackers in and allow Palmer, the tight end, to get behind the linebackers. He did, but didn't realize there was a safety in Derek Forrest on the back end of it.
Golden Hurricane's been strong on 3rd downs today, 3 of 4, 42% for the year. Smith needs the 13. To the end zone, a wobbling ball. It's intercepted. It's Hicks with his 2nd takeaway of the game and 5th in 2 weeks. There is a flag down at the goal line. A hat's come off for a player out of bounds.
Yeah, you got the flag and the hat. Maybe the double dip. And this is just a bad decision by Zach Smith, the quarterback, trying to force one. You're going to go there, put it in a place where either your receiver catches it or it goes out of the back of the end zone. And Tulsa with 3 big turnovers here in the first half.
There is no foul on the play. The result of the play is a touchback, interception, first down.
So the 5th takeaway in 2 weeks for Javon Hicks, the sophomore from here in Cincinnati. It's his 7th takeaway of the season.
Well, we had a chance to visit with Desmond Ridder talked about pre-snap read and coverage, knowing the weaknesses of coverages, and he stayed with the receiver, Stokes, way too long. And if you know the coverage, you know that Hicks is sitting in center field, and you cannot go over the middle that late with a safety right in the middle of the field. That's just not knowing the coverage and staying with a guy way too long.
And it wastes, Andre, a 14-play drive. No points for Tulsa yet again. And the takeaway for Hicks, his third interception in the last 2 weeks as Cooper Edmiston makes a stop on Michael Ward.
Pre-snap read as a quarterback will tell you a lot. And then as you're dropping back, you start to see the rotations. Now you know what coverage they're getting to, and then you've got to make the adjustment. He does take a shot here, but still, that's way too long to put that ball up to and try to get it to Stokes.
Yeah, Perry Young got him on the arm. Here's Medeiros inside, ducking in for the catch, and a first down, a gain of 7.
And here come the Bearcats. Still trying to get Michael Warren on track. He ended the first quarter with just 8 carries for 19 yards. About 2.5 yards a clip.
It's Warren and another first down, trying to get wide.
Yep, and the defense for Tulsa, Kevin, they've done a nice job in terms of slowing down Michael Warren. They've kept him in check, as I mentioned, throughout the first half so far. And you've got to reward a defense, because the longer they're out there, opportunities are going to start to present themselves for this Cincinnati offense, because they're going to wear down.
Why do you think Cincinnati has struggled to establish Warren early this year?
I think there have been some adjustments on the offensive line, and that's usually a reflection of the running game.
Gain of 3 yards for Warren here. Left tackle Chris Ferguson is back today. He missed the last 2 weeks. The left guard Jeremy Cooper is out. And you see the adjustments. They're often made at the half. Getting better as the game goes on. Warren has exploded in the third quarter after slow starts.
Yep, he is a guy that the more he gets it, the more powerful he gets, and late in games, he is a force.
So on third down, Ridder with a deep ball for Josiah DeGuara, a little too deep. Manny Bunch was in good coverage, and Cincinnati, after another turnover, comes up empty.
I'll tell you what, the officials there just let him arm fight a little bit. One guy's pushing, you got DeGuara pushing. Manny Bunch is pushing a little bit. Just let them play. That's part of football. They get tangled up a little bit. And another nice stop by this Tulsa defense to get Cincinnati off the field and end it with a kick.
One of the best punters in the country, James Smith. You did not get many returns against James Smith, and Keelan Stokes does not have one here. A fair catch after 43 wobbling yards. Maybe the best team in the 132 years of Cincinnati football. The 2009 Bearcats, 12-0 in the regular season, a Big East championship under Brian Kelly. They played Florida in the Sugar Bowl, and this team was immortalized with a 45-44 win at Pitt. Last day of the regular season, Tony Pike to Armand Binns, the famous game-winning touchdown. That team that was so good that got Brian Kelly to Notre Dame. This 2009 Cincinnati team immortalized here at Nippert Stadium today, inducted into the Cincinnati Athletics Hall of Fame.
One Travis Kelce was on that team in the building today.
Brian Kelly in the building today with the Notre Dame bye week as well. On 1st and 20, Stokes. Upended, does not get back to the original line of scrimmage, got 7. Ahmad Gardner, who had the go-ahead pick 6 against UCF, made the tackle.
And this is usually when Marcus Freeman likes to heat up a quarterback. Got him behind the down and distance marker because of the penalty. And so Zach Smith has got to be conscious of that and the looks that he's getting, and this 3-3 look that is being implemented.
Bad snap. Smith picks it up and makes something out of nothing. Brian Wright takes him down after 5 yards.
Oh, no, it looked like he hit him right in the hands. Maybe he wasn't expecting it.
Bad catch. I think you're right.
Then he kind of went into slow motion as he tried to reel it in.
This is what Tulsa has seen all year. The offensive line, the pre-snap penalties, they've just had mess after mess up front. Rush of 5 for Cincinnati. Smith gets it away, dropped by Josh Johnson. Would have been short anyway by about 4 yards.
Taj Ward, who doubles as corner and safety, very versatile guy on the back end. He wanted to get him some safety looks. And he's there as a corner in this defensive look, and boy, does he make a nice break on the football. Sophomore out of Cincinnati right here at home.
Another good punter in this game, Thomas Bennett, son of an all-pro Chargers punter, the great Darren Bennett. And Thomas's kick is blocked and then dropped by a Cincinnati player, and there's an absolute mad scramble for the ball at the 45-yard line.
It was definitely touched.
And Tulsa has recovered. Yeah. Amazing. It'll be a gain of 20 yards on the blocked punt. Looked like it was Ethan Tuckey who tipped it, and the recovery for Tulsa from Grant Sawyer.
The punt was blocked and then touched by the receiving team beyond the line of scrimmage. It was then recovered by the offense. First down, Tulsa.
I'm thinking maybe Tyven Fossen, who is a reserve linebacker, tried to field it. Not sure. With a block, and that ball hangs in the air for a long, long time. Actually, it's Wyatt Fisher who tried to field it.
That's a wide receiver.
Yeah.
Not showing wide receiver level hands, and Shamari Brooks gains 2.
And the best thing, if it doesn't bounce right to you, is to just get away from it. Let it play out on the ground, and Cincinnati would have had excellent field position. Now, Tulsa with an opportunity to draw closer once again.
I think that would go as Tulsa's best offensive play of the day. Longest gain, 20 yards. Their longest offensive play was 18, actually. So 2nd down and 8. Tulsa continues to get new life, and Smith's pass incomplete.
Boy, he had Stokes. They had 2 crossers. Stokes crosses, and Crawford as the other crosser, and Stokes was the receiver that came wide open, but Zach Smith is locking on to receivers, which is why he is missing a lot of open guys through his progression. You got to go through it, and the guy that gets the most space in man-to-man coverage, just give it.
Less than 4 yards per attempt right now. No Kobe Bryant on the field for Cincinnati here. He just toppled off. Play clock down to 1. Smith gets it off in time, airs it out, and a completion to Keelan Stokes, who sneaks behind the Cincinnati secondary for 29 yards.
Wouldn't surprise me if Stokes came back to the huddle and said, hey, let me make a play. Get me the football. And that quickly, Tulsa, with his fast offense, could strike.
Zach Smith just over a minute to go, and Zach Smith is sacked for the 3rd time today. Marcus Brown, with the first one, was in the middle this time, along with Perry Young.
And they've got to spend a timeout. The last thing, or what should have been told to Zach Smith is you can't take a sack, and they're in the 2-minute drill because they're trying to score here. So that big play, the big pass to Stokes, put him down the field. Now you can't take a sack. Ball's got to come out, and forces them to that sack forces them to take a timeout. You got to get some points on the board here. The ball's being held way too long.
Ready for the pressure from Majay Sanders off the edge. Sanders almost had the arm of Smith, who's got a wide open receiver, Josh Johnson, making his way to the pylon, and Johnson is ruled to be out of bounds at the 2.
He's going to hope that they rule him out of bounds at the 2. Otherwise, it would be a touchback, and that's exactly right. Secure the football. 3 turnovers already. We're on a post corner combination, and he's the receiver that comes open, Josh Johnson, Little Rock, Arkansas. Tulsa can get on the board here.
Smith under center. He'll give it to Brooks, and Brooks is swallowed up. Tulsa has 2 timeouts left. Malik Van made the stop there, and no timeout yet for Philip Montgomery.
Well, that's a textbook tackle by Van. Firing off the football. One of those backups along with Brown that are really affecting this game today.
If a tight ended at fullback, it's Corey Taylor. He gets absolutely no momentum. Swallowed up again by that interior for Cincinnati. And now Tulsa uses its second timeout.
30-second timeout.
What's the play here if you Philip Montgomery, or what options do you want?
Well, I think I get Shamari Brooks back in the game and try the edges. If not, I may show it real strong to Brooks and then boot Zach Smith out the backside, because it's a very aggressive defense that will go for that initial play fake.
Brooks is not on the field. Instead, it is T.K. Wilkerson lunging, and he does have the goal line for a Tulsa touchdown.
Well, they get the bigger physical back in Wilkerson in the game, and with all the mistakes that Tulsa's made here in the first half and all the penalties, they are very much in the football game. Nice push up front, an excellent block by Gerard Wheeler, the right guard, and that opens things up for Wilkerson.
T.K. Wilkerson's first 2 career touchdowns, or 2 of his first 3, I beg your pardon, have come in the last 2 weeks. And the extra point booted through by Jacob Rainey. The Bearcats will have the ball to start the second half. A pretty sloppy first half in a lot of ways. 3 takeaways and a block punt for Cincinnati, but the lead is only 3. Welcome back to ESPN College Football, presented by Sling TV. Tulsa has dominated time of possession, but Cincinnati has the lead 10-7 after 30-odd minutes of American Conference football. And Cincinnati thought it had some opportunities in the return game today. Trey Tucker here will be upended across the 20. Kevin Brown, Andre Ware. We'll hear from Taylor Davis momentarily. So many good things Cincinnati did in the first half. They create 3 takeaways. They blocked a punt, and yet they were barely on the field.
Yeah, it actually was a first half statistically dominated by Tulsa. With you remove the self-inflicted wounds, they would be, I think they'd be ahead in this game. But Cincinnati, and Michael Warren's being held in check. I think Tulsa's defense has played outstanding in the first half of this one, has provided the offense with plenty. They've just got to stop shooting themselves in the foot.
Michael Warren with one of his better runs, a gain of 5 on 1st and 10 as we begin this second half. Michael Warren has been a much more effective second half runner this season. Particularly, he has shined in the 3rd quarter of games. With a good rushing performance, could make his way into the all-time top 10 at Cincinnati.
We know that he gets better as the game progresses, so could be in store for some nice fireworks at the end of this one.
As Ritter breaks free for a big play into Tulsa territory, Michael Warren had to leave the field and be helped off. And we will get back to that certainly. Here it is, a 23-yard run for Ritter. A lot going on. This is what happened a couple of plays ago to Michael Warren.
Excellent cutback, and not seeing much there, but you could see him kind of pull that left leg up.
Quick hitter Rashad Medeiros shouldered down after 3 yards.
It wasn't, during contact or he didn't get bent around kind of awkwardly. It was just one of those where he just couldn't put a whole lot of weight on it, and then when they got him up to bring him off the field, he still wasn't putting a whole lot of weight on that left leg.
Bob Mangine is in there with the Cincinnati training staff, longtime football, basketball member of the training staff here. 2nd and 7 for Ritter. And another completion to Medeiros, shy of a first down by a couple of yards. Brandon Johnson with a Tulsa tackle.
A nice quick read by Ritter, and starting to see now the development that Mike Denbrock talked about, where they can be a balanced football team. And don't think for 1 second that Dokes can't handle the workload with Warren out, along with Ritter in the passing game.
Jared Dokes is his backup. And Dokes will take it on a third down. Shoulder lowered first down. Cincinnati, a gain of 6.
And right on cue. It's good to have him back. You mentioned it, missed all of last year with a hernia. And a knee slowed him at the start of this year, but he is finally healthy, and you see why the coaches are happy to have the junior running back in the fold.
Ran right through the third-year starter at strong safety, Manny Bunch. Design draw for Ritter, and Tulsa covers it up pretty well.
Yeah.
Only 3 yards. Zaven Collins, third leading tackler in the American, with a stop.
Yeah, he had a breakout season last year. Really came into his own, and second team all American Conference performer last year. You've got to do a heck of a job on Ritter because he's so fast. Those long strides at 6'4". It doesn't look like he's running fast, but he's covering a lot of ground. So it's important for these linebackers to get to him quickly. And it looks like Michael Warren may be okay.
That's good news.
Yes, it is.
On his feet, Ritter looking end zone, and it's incomplete. Medeiros locked up with Brandon Johnson.
Looks like the ball sailed on him a little bit. Intended for Medeiros. It went outside, and Medeiros went on a post route. Was expecting the ball in the middle of the field and kind of went behind him. Warren wants back in the game.
Bob Mangine saying, hang on now. Over 2,000 yards, Michael Warren at Cincinnati. 27 career touchdowns. He'll watch this 3rd and 12 play from the sideline. Ritter on a 3rd and 12. Short pass to Dokes, slipping out of the backfield. Dokes has the first down and more. Inside the 10, inside the 5, toward the pylon, and we're waiting for a signal. Cannon has gone off, waiting for a line judge signal, and where we have a touchdown for Dokes for Cincinnati.
Boy, and he just stones the defensive end, Travis Gibson, on an angle route. Knew he was going to get himself back into the pattern, but he took care of business in pass protection initially to give Zach Smith enough time, Desmond Ritter enough time to get the ball to him. And then by the time he got out into the route, there was nobody in the middle of the field. That is an excellent job of execution, and an even better job of getting himself in the end zone at the end of the play.
And confirmed with a quick look from upstairs. Extra point from Crosa makes it 17-7 Cincinnati. 8:33 to go here in the third quarter. His first touchdown in 2 years wasn't quite enough. You said he banged that drum earlier like he knew he was going to come back to it.
Yeah, he was coming right back to it. The end of this one is just a tough run to get himself into the end zone, and Michael Warren loves it. Supporting his position mate. He's banging it a little harder right now.
Welcome back to Nippert Stadium, where you're watching the American Conference on ESPN. A fired-up Desmond Ritter after a 28-yard dump and run for Jared Dokes over the sideline with the offensive line, which has struggled to get traction today, but you love this kind of leadership, Andre.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That's exactly what I was talking about with Philip Montgomery, with his quarterback, Zach Smith. This is what you're looking for. Light a spark. This game's a little bit too close to the liking for Desmond Ritter, and so he wants to pull away. He knows that it's going to take the big grunts up front to get it going.
17-7 Cincinnati has the lead.
You remember this, our first trip here?
I do.
Love it.
Love the arms swinging back and forth. They go down and hit you. But they won't need to here as the kick sails through the end zone from Ryan Jones.
Well, Tulsa, who statistically dominated the first half, are going to have to get something going to keep pace with this Cincinnati offense.
So Johnson as a blocker, and he is close to a first down. Josh Johnson. Javon Hicks pushed him out of bounds after 9, and let's head back down to Taylor.
Well, guys, I caught up with Tulsa head coach Philip Montgomery after the half, asked him his overall reaction to the first half. He said, I like what we've done overall, but we're hurting ourselves. He said, we're creating opportunities specifically on the defensive side of the ball, and we're not capitalizing. He said, what it comes down to is disciplined execution. That has been his message to his team. I asked him about Zach Smith. He said, he's doing fine. I just need him to play with more energy and more fire. Now, for Cincinnati, I'm being told running back Michael Warren is dealing with a lower leg injury. They have added some extra tape. I'm told his return is probable.
All right, good stuff, Taylor. Thank you. So good news for Cincinnati, although Dokes has certainly looked fine in his absence. That last play ruled incomplete out of the right hand of Smith, and Warren will watch his defense on a 3rd and 1. Jumbo backfield for Tulsa. The give is to Brooks. Tough running for Brooks, who gets away from a bunch of black shirts into Cincinnati territory.
What an excellent cut. I mean, if he goes outside, he is tied up. I didn't get the number of the Cincinnati player, but he is going to be stopped short. It was the cut that that actually earned the first down, and a whole lot extra because of it. I mean, it looked like Jarrell White was going to make the play, and all of a sudden Brooks makes a cut, a nice sharp cut to pick up that first down.
54 yards, 12 carries. Brooks broken tackle in the backfield here, and only a yard.
You ask me what I like. It's they've been able to put a play or two together, and then the next one, there's a penalty that makes it a tougher 3rd down conversion. But they have been able to kind of couple a couple of plays together and move the football.
Running back Taylor will take it. Had a hole for a second, couldn't quite hit it. Gets only 3 yards. This will be a 3rd and 6.
Jay Sanders with closing down from his defensive end position. That was one heck of a play. 6'5", 258, just coming right down inside to stop the big physical Corey Taylor and staying at home.
Smith on 3rd and 11, running for his life, completes it well short of a first down to Keenan Johnson.
A nice open field tackle by Cam Jeffries to hold Tulsa in check and not allow Johnson to shake free. And might want to think about it here if you're Philip Montgomery of going for it.
4th and 6, Cincinnati 45.
Definitely manageable.
No decision yet.
He's going to punt it.
Yeah, here comes the punt team. Zach Smith doesn't want to leave the field, but he will. Bennett will kick it to Montgomery, standing at his 10. Clean delivery, clean punt. Montgomery's going to field this thing inside the 10 and turn it upfield around the 20. 17-7, Cincinnati bending but not breaking defensively. There is Michael Warren over the sideline. Taylor reported his return is probable. Cincinnati's been okay without him. Jared Dokes, a rushing touchdown and a receiving one. And Dokes is a receiver here as Ritter is sacked and the ball comes free. Tulsa has got it inside the 10. An absolute game-turning turnover.
Recovered by the defense.
It's Shamar Robinson, the defensive tackle on it. Trevis Gibson, who has almost all their sacks in on the play.
Gibson comes free, and he's one of our impact players, obviously for a reason. 4 sacks on the season coming in, and there picking up his 5th. Tell you what, that's just a heck of a play. He wasn't just satisfied getting to the quarterback. He went right after the arm of Desmond Ritter.
That is Tulsa's 6th sack of the year, and as you mentioned, that's number 5 for Gibson. He's been their entire pass rush this season, the redshirt senior. So 1st and goal, Tulsa on the takeaway. and Smith will go end zone, and he nearly gives it right back to Ahmad Gardner.
You got to know based on body position of a defender. If your receiver climbs on top, it's got to be a fade to the corner. If the defensive back stays on top, then it's a back shoulder throw, and the receiver clearly gets on top. Smith throws it like it's like a back shoulder throw.
Handoff Wilkerson on second down, and Tulsa, after the takeaway, has gone just about nowhere on these first two plays.
And it's such a quick decision that you have to make down here, because you get down this close, everything speeds up. Routes are cut a little bit shorter. The time you get to throw the football, a little bit shorter. Windows close quickly. That's why those decisions, Kevin, have to be made in a hurry.
Any matchup you'd like here?
They go back to the top on that fade, the same route that he underthrew.
Smith steps up away from a hit. Smith on the rollout, and it's incomplete off the right hand of Ahmad Gardner, who started this drive with a pass breakup and goes sprinting through the Cincinnati cheer squad before a 4th and goal.
And Philip Montgomery not going to waste an opportunity here. It was a bonus to get the football down here. Might as well put some tack on some points. Rainey, his range about 44 yards, so this is well within his range. Just 5 for 9 on the season.
And boy, if kicking woes hurt them. 3 missed field goals in the triple overtime loss to SMU for Tulsa. This should be an easy one for Jacob Rainey, and he puts it through. 17-10, Tulsa back within a score. Cincinnati holds after what could have been an utterly disastrous turnover. Rainey the field goal, and the Bearcats lead is 7. How about the freshman Gardner? 2 weeks ago, the big pick 6 against UCF, still making plays.
Mixing up the offensive line down that deep, kind of cost Cincinnati a field goal.
Now the dangerous Trey Tucker tripped up across the 25-yard line. Nice special teams tackle made by Mitchell Culkin. Dokes again with a cut to pick up 3.
Remember earlier I said how small he gets for a big back at 6 foot 230?
Yes.
And that was a primary example right there. And you see the comparison. Over almost 5.5 yards for Dokes per carry. It's opposed to Michael Warren having a tough day of it, under 3 yards. But just getting skinny in the hole, making it hard for a defensive lineman or a linebacker to get solid contact on you.
A couple more carries on this drive for Dokes. This one now gives him 7. It'll be 3rd down and manageable.
He runs hard. I mean, bringing the wood to the doorstep of anybody that steps up, and none more obvious than Trevis Gibson when he caught the touchdown pass on the angle route. He chipped to get out, and some chip it was. You could hear it and feel it way up here.
Kevin Brown, Andre Ware, Taylor Davis from Cincinnati. Bearcats looking for a 5th straight win overall. Trying to get to 6-1, 3-0 in the American. Hanging on for dear life against a feisty Tulsa group. Ritter with a shot for Malik Moj, and a diving try comes up empty.
I don't know if I like that one by Ritter, unless you know that you're going to go for it on 4th down. The object right there is just to move the chains and get you a completion, but this one so inviting. You got your receiver with a step on a defensive back, and I tell you what, Manny Bunch, we've called his name a lot here in the ball game today. I'd have chosen to check that one down, just pick up the 1st down and get across midfield before you take that shot play.
Smith, who's had another superb day punting. High spiraling kick, and Stokes makes the fair catch. A punt of 47. Brian Kelly was here in the stadium earlier with his 2009 Cincinnati Sugar Bowl team, celebrating the 10th anniversary and that team's induction into the Cincinnati Sports Hall of Fame. Cincinnati Bearcats Hall of Fame, to be specific. Jarrell White with a stop on Shamari Brooks on first down, only a gain of about a half yard.
There's really nowhere to go, and it's because the Cincinnati front has just been dominant.
Smith second down, a completion for a first down to Stokes. Quiet day for his leading target, only his 5th catch, but it's a gain of 14.
Well, and I like what Stokes did there after the catch. There's no wasted movement. Let me get north and south in a hurry, and it's hard sometimes to coach that into receivers. They want to make a lot of moves, have guys make trying to make guys miss. Really nowhere. It looked like a mix-up there with Zach Smith. He looked to Stokes, who was not open, or maybe it was Crawford, and then decided to just pull it down. A bust of some sort.
Could be the final play of the third quarter. Smith, one-on-one ball for Stokes, incomplete. Now, last week Cincinnati was beaten on a lot of those deep shots, and Marcus Freeman said he had to tell his coaches, stop calling them 50-50 balls. We need to think of these as 75-25 balls. Yeah. Arquan Bush with a good coverage here.
I'll tell you what, they've got great coverage from 2 freshmen. Arquan Bush has played a nice game, and so has Ahmad Gardner, the other true freshman out of Detroit, Michigan, Martin Luther King High School. Those 2 guys have been excellent on the back end for Cincinnati.
And at the bottom of the formation, that's a true freshman, Andre, and Justin Harris, who just checked in. Smith is not going to go his way because he has a wide open Stokes for a first down to end the third quarter with a gain of 17.
That's the end of the third quarter.
A wobbly 3 quarters of football for both these teams. But Tulsa looks to swing the pendulum back in its favor, on the move and down 1 score as we head to the 4th. Cincinnati 17, Tulsa 10. We start the 4th quarter with some bad injury news if you're a Bearcat fan. Spotted Kobe Bryant in a boot right there on the right foot in between the 3rd and 4th quarter. He may be their best cover corner. Arquan Bush, who's been playing a great game defensively, he went to the locker room. So Cincinnati very thin at corner, and Zach Smith tries to take advantage, and he misses an open Keenan Johnson on what could have been 6.
Would have been 6 had he hit him in stride and behind the secondary, but he has been a little bit long on a couple of throws that could have resulted in some pretty big plays. At the very least, they'd have been down somewhere around the 10, maybe the 5-yard line.
And it went right at the true freshman Justin Harris, number 4. A running play for Brooks on 2nd down. And Brooks is tripped up near the 50, the line to gain. He's got enough for a first down, a run of 11.
Even after the incompletion, Brooks comes up big. Move the chains again for Tulsa, and with all the stuff that's happened, they are still very much in this game.
Smith all day to throw, taking a shot again, up top and reeled in. Sam Crawford, their big play threat, over the true freshman Harris for a gain of 40.
And to your point, they go right at the youngster Justin Harris with an experienced Sam Crawford. Now, he's only a sophomore, but he's played a lot of football at Tulsa in a very short period of time.
Smith, he's crushed on the blitz, lost the ball. Brooks is on top of it. It was Jarrell White to jar it free, and a loss of 5 on first down.
Boy, and he was lucky, and Brooks located and saw the football right away and was able to get back and get on it, but it just untouched. And you got to know the protection, where you're protected from, who can come free. That 3-3 look that Marcus Freeman is implementing today is giving Zach Smith some problems.
2nd and goal from the 9, and a run into traffic for Corey Taylor. By the way, Perry Young limped off after that first down play. 3rd time he's left the game due to injury today.
When you play a 4-man front, whether it's 4-3 or a 4-2-5 look, You can usually count in the box because guys are set and know where the protection's coming, you know, where the extra blitzers are coming from. When it's a 3-3 look or a 3-5, it's tough because they can bring pressure from many places and you just can't account for them.
3rd down and goal. Smith on the rollout. Smith will try to run it. He's crushed, and he'll come up well short. Joel DeBlanco, usually a special teams player. Brian Wright were both there.
Yeah, I think with the time on the clock, over 12 minutes, you go ahead and kick the field goal here and take the points. We got plenty of time left in this ball game.
4th and goal from the 4. I guess the argument against that would be if you don't get it, you back Cincinnati up.
Well, an argument as well as Rainey hadn't been automatic by any means.
True. Made from 24 today, this from 21. And this would maintain Cincinnati's lead, but cut it to 4. Rainey boots it through.
Rainey was good, runs 21 yards away.
A lot of bending, not a lot of breaking for Cincinnati's defense. Bearcats still in front by 4. Tulsa came close. The big play to Crawford over Harris. Another goal line stand maintains the Cats' lead. Luke Fickell's team has proven to be somewhat dexterous themselves, surviving injury after injury for a 4-point lead over Tulsa early on in the 4th quarter. Kevin Brown, Andre Ware, Taylor Davis is on the sidelines.
You got a good one. A sprint to the finish line. 12 minutes, 12 seconds left.
Cincinnati thought they'd have some opportunities in the return game today with Trey Tucker, and they really have not. Tucker blown up at the 18-yard line. Great dual threat player Ritter, and a rushing touchdown, his first of the season last week. Sticks it in the belly of Dokes here, and a 1st down gain of 7.
When I watch Ritter run, it reminds me of a guy I played youth football with named Garen Dixon. Doesn't look like he's covering a lot of ground, and he's such a smooth runner, but he would pull away from you. He wound up running track in high school, but he was fast, and so is Desmond Ritter.
Ritter out of bounds for 5 yards. That's a huge call because it's 3rd down and about 14 if that penalty's not called.
My memory's right. I don't remember which game, but wasn't there an NFL game where there was a hands to the face this past week? That was a very big play in the game. Yeah, that swung the game.
Ritter looking for Moj, intercepted. Reggie Robinson. Flag is down with a hat. That should signal that Moj was running out of bounds.
Yes, indeed.
And this will be an interception.
It will stand. An excellent coverage by Reggie Robinson on the back end. He is their best cover man. Excellent in man-to-man coverage. And that's exactly what he was in, working against Moj in that scenario. They're going to call interference. Cincinnati's offense has yet to leave the field.
Pass interference. Yeah. Defense, number 9.
Wow.
15-yard penalty, automatic, 1st down.
Not sure if Robinson forced him out of bounds. That was Trey Flowers in a game with the Lions against. That's exactly right, against the Green Bay Packers.
Let's see if this was pass interference.
Out of bumping. Not sure what happened before the end of the play.
On the handoff, Dokes. Yeah, we didn't see before the play there. I don't think there's anything during that replay that would signify pass interference to you.
Boy, what a run. Nice run, nice cut, excellent vision by Jared Dokes. I really like him. Started liking him when I was watching film this week when he had that run against Houston. a week ago. And this guy's been hot today, which is why Michael Warren has not been able to get himself back on the field.
Ritter over the top, looking long, incomplete. Coverage from Manny Bunch on Rashard Medeiros. They're a big play threat, and another excellent defensive play made by Bunch.
Tell you what, Bunch has been in the right place at the right time a lot in this one. And it looked like Medeiros had a step on him. He makes up the step and then locates the football to knock it away. He has played some football game for Tulsa defensively on the back end.
By the way, he says he hasn't cut his hair since junior year of high school. Senior now. He wanted the dreads. He's kept them. Full health this year after an ACL injury as a sophomore. Ritter completes it. Ja'Shawn Jackson boogies free. Cincinnati's into the red zone with the first down.
And Allie Green slips down, and they make him pay. Jackson, the receiver, takes full advantage of it, pulls up, and able to keep himself in bounds to add a little bit more to the end of it. Now Cincinnati pushing the gas a little bit.
Running back once again is Dokes. Motion man Jackson. Dokes inside to the 15 for 4 yards.
And it would be Dokes' time if I'm calling plays. Hey, get you a deep breath, because we're getting ready to turn the game over to you and the offensive line down here. Physical runner that has enough speed, he can get the edge for you, but runs extremely hard. Powerful runner between the tackles.
A 4-point lead for Cincinnati, which has never trailed in this game.
Feed the big man.
Jared Dokes has both Cincinnati touchdowns. Ritter keeps it here. Back inside. Ritter takes a hard hit from Zaven Collins, and that sets up 3rd and 3.
A little RPO action, and like Tulsa pretty much had everybody on the back end accounted for. Had a guy for Ritter, not a lot of room to wiggle, and that big 6'4" frame, when he falls, he's going to fall forward for about 3.
Long drive for Cincinnati. Try to put this one just about on ice. This will be the 13th play. They've traveled 78 yards, aided by some big penalties.
Yeah, he has got Jackson. Why, or the matchup he wants with Jackson.
They went to Dokes instead. And now what do you do here on 4th and 2 if you're Cincinnati?
I leave the offense on the field and I go right back to Dokes without hesitation. They're bringing in a big tight end, Bruno LaBelle, who is known as an excellent inline blocking tight end.
Mike Denbrock calls him the hammer.
Along with DeGuara.
6 of 8 on 4th downs this year. Sealed the UCF game with a big 4th and inches. Go inside to Dokes.
I don't think he got there, Kevin.
He does not have enough. He's about a full yard shy, and Tulsa holds up for the stop of the game at its own 10.
And Tulsa's going to have the football with a chance to go down and take the lead. 4:11, 2 timeouts, plenty of time left for the Tulsa Golden Hurricanes as they hold up on 4th down.
And after a 4th down stop, it is Tulsa ball, 90 yards away. There's the blocker in Tucky. There's the fumbler essentially in Fisher. And Tulsa with 4:11 to go, 90 yards away from taking the lead. Can they do it? They start with a handoff to Shamari Brooks, and he gets just one, ridden down by Elijah Ponder.
And Ponder has been a nice surprise to this coaching staff to this point in the year. We mentioned they lost some experience along the defensive line, and he has really, really stepped up. Shows excellent quickness right here. Right now on that play to bring down Shamari Brooks.
And Philip Montgomery's Tulsa team needs a win in the worst way. This is a brutal back half. 5 wins combined the last 2 years, trying to get to 3 here. Smith over the middle, intercepted by Derek Forrest. 4th Cincinnati takeaway of the game. This one could be the icer as Forrest collects his 2nd career interception.
It's late And you can't do what, Kevin? Go late over the middle.
That's right.
He holds on to it forever, and he has his eyes just absolutely glued to the intended receiver, Josh Johnson. That gave Forrest a chance to just eyeball the quarterback. You're sitting in center field just watching his eyes. They never come off the receiver. And so the safety is just drifting that way, and he just drifts right into an interception on the back end of it. Well played by Forrest.
And great pressure by Elijah Ponder to set up the poor throw. From the 27, here's Dokes. Jared Dokes' third touchdown of the game. One play after the interception.
Some player back healthy after missing all of last year with a hernia. Had to fight through a knee that slowed him at the start of this year. He is finally healthy, and you see why. We now know why this coaching staff is excited to have Jared Dokes back and finally healthy. That is some complimentary football for you. Defense with a turnover, and the offense sticking it right in the end zone.
Michael Warren has been available most of the second half, but Cincinnati simply gone with the hotter back in Dokes. The takeaway for Forrest, Cincinnati's fourth of the game, and the touchdown for Dokes, his third tonight. And that might do it for number 21, Cincinnati. But Jared Dokes has been so good, he's turned Michael Warren into the hype man today. He's the Ryan Lewis to Jared Dokes Macklemore. 2 touchdowns on the ground, 1 through the air for Dokes, his first scores since 2017. He missed all of last year with a hernia issue. He's still here, missed a couple of games with a knee injury this year. This is a good reminder to the American of just the capability of Jared Dokes and just what Cincinnati has in its running back room.
Yeah, they push plays with such confidence for a young player.
Stokes with Tulsa given new life.
We watched him go into the locker room, and he is, have been battling a toe injury. Very talented young player. We got him lined up against Keelan Stokes. That's a nice matchup for the redshirt freshman.
Had 2 interceptions in just 4 games last year. Took a redshirt. Smith, look out! And he completes it over the middle with pressure coming from behind. Josh Johnson, first down, a gain of 10. Malik Van nearly got to Smith on that throw.
Van was turning the corner, talk about a game of inches, an inch more, and he's got another sack fumble.
Always scary when Van turns the corner. Smith, pump and go, hit as he throws again, and Brian Wright was in the area, and it's pressure once again from Van, who knocks the quarterback down this time.
What's the license plate number on that Van?
It's 64265. Big sophomore at Fairfield High School here in Cincinnati. And there's Wright, their leader in the middle, who nearly got his hands on the ball.
They have been able to get pressure today without actually having a blitz. Marcus Freeman likes to do it. He's a very aggressive play caller on the defensive side. They've shown blitz a lot, but then they back out of it.
Incomplete there. Javon Hicks set a flag or just a yellow?
I think it's just a
mouth guard.
It's the mouth guard.
Yeah, there's been
Josh
so much
Johnson.
yellow on the field today, you're not sure. I mean, if you play for Tulsa, at least have the mouth guard be blue. I don't know.
That helmet coming off. Josh Johnson got to sit one play. At the very end of this, as he lands, actually it's Hicks that rips the helmet off Johnson. A big third down here is
Smith, 3rd and 10.
What a
High
catch.
throw. What a catch indeed by Stokes, ducking around the Forrest tackle, beating Bush for 11 yards.
Hey, I tell you what, the Stokes family has had a lot of success at Tulsa. His brother Kevin, Luca's 3rd all-time leading receiver at Tulsa.
Smith airing it out again, and another overthrow. He's had a couple of receivers running deep and open in this game and missed him. That was Stokes once more, who hits the wall.
Stokes going to maybe need a breather after that one. A big-time catch to move the chains, and then they try to send him deep. And once again, Zach Smith just a little bit too long with the football. And that's a matchup. I'll tell you what, they've got to have, Marcus Freeman's got to have a lot of confidence in Arquan Bush to line him up in man-to-man over and over and over again against Keelan Stokes.
Sits out for this play. Smith does well to elude pressure and will spin inside. Perry Young brings him down after 5. Probably should have gotten out of bounds there. The clock continues to roll. So with a win here for Cincinnati on the other side, you get bowl eligible. You're 6-1, 3-0 in the conference. These next 3 games, they'll be heavy favorites in all of them. Road trips to ECU, USF, UConn comes here. Cincinnati with a win here could easily be 9-1. Then Temple comes to town. Then a trip to Memphis to end the year.
I feel like they'll be favored against Temple because it's a home game and a showdown with Memphis.
Smith is sacked. Myjai Sanders and the ball pops free, and that'll do it. The 5th takeaway of the game for Cincinnati. Brian Wright is on top of it.
The ruling on the field was a fumble recovered by the defense. First down.
The turnover machines in black and white pick up 5 in the game. Sanders.
And that's all Zach Smith. All 5 turnovers. A sack fumble, a fumble while running the football, 2 interceptions, and then now another, a 5th sack fumble. And it's just, this one's just a product of holding the ball too long. You got to expect pressure. With the way Marcus Freeman calls defenses, you got to expect pressure pretty much at any time, and the ball's got to come out quickly.
It's not pretty. It doesn't need to be. Luke Fickell can teach lessons in a win and feel happy about that. Cincinnati holds Tulsa to 13 points, 1 point per drive, and survives a very long game with a home win. Michael Warren banged up. Jared Dokes filled in more than admirably all 3 of Cincinnati's touchdowns. And Luke Fickell's Bearcats remain unbeaten and remain atop the American Conference East. 6-1 overall and 3-0 in conference play.
Yeah, you'll take them. Sometimes, you know, when you have a tough road trip, you come back home, it's not always pretty, but it goes in the win column, and like you said, you can correct. It's a whole lot sweeter to go through corrections than it is when you lose one, or win one, than it is when you lose one.
Only 317 total yards in this game. This was not Cincinnati the last few weeks when they were much crisper in their last 3 wins. It's a win anyway, and Taylor Davis is with the victorious head coach Luke Fickell.
Thanks, guys. Coach, wasn't always pretty. A lot of penalties, a lot of injuries, but you get the win. How would you describe your team's execution tonight?
Well, a lot of penalties is kind of a relative term. I'm not sure it was a lot of penalties for us today, but ultimately our guys found a way. You know, we weren't playing our best. We came out the second half, had to generate momentum on 3 sides, on offense, defense, and special teams, and you got to give us credit, man. Those guys kept fighting. We didn't have everybody. We had some guys go down. We had some young guys step up today.
You mentioned momentum on defense, 5 takeaways, an interception with just 4 minutes left. Tulsa has a first down. You get the interception that led to the final touchdown. How did they show up when you needed them most?
They just kept playing, and I think that's that's kind of our mantra. You know, is we can wear some people out, keep mixing guys in. We had a lot of freshmen out there playing. You know, they're taking shots down the field. We had to throw some young guys in there. You know what? And they just kept playing too. And when I had a chance to, we made the plays, and that's the difference in the ball game.
You told us this week you wanted to get Michael Warren some more touches, but Jared Dokes had quite the day today. What can you say about his performance?
Well, it's what we love. We love to see guys that, you know, Mike maybe got a little dinged up, and Jared steps up, and he can do everything that Mike can do. We got a 2-headed monster. We just got to find a way to get both of them rolling.
Well, now you are 6-1, undefeated in the conference. As you focus inward and regroup during this bye week, what's the mission?
We got a lot of things to do, and we got to make sure we kind of clean some things up. We got to find some energy and momentum offensively. Just running the football. These guys made it very difficult. Give them a lot of credit. But I think we just got to continue to build our locker room. That's what's going to win it down the stretch for us.
Coach, congrats. Thank you.
Thank you.
10th straight win at home for Cincinnati, 7 in a row in conference. And again, it's a pretty manageable schedule from here on out. They go to East Carolina. UConn comes here. They travel to South Florida.
Yeah.
Temple comes here. They'll be favored in all those, you think. And then a trip to Memphis to end the season. And who knows, maybe we see those two again down the road in the American title game. Going to be a fun stretch run here in the American Conference. Cincinnati survives today, goes to 6-1. Again, your final score, Bearcats 24, Tulsa Golden Hurricane 13. For Andrew Ware, our entire ESPN crew, Kevin Brown saying so long from Cincinnati. Let's send you to Pullman, Pac-12 before dark with Lauren Sisler and Kelly Stauffer.